Hello everyone and welcome to a new webinar of the EU SME Center. Today's topic will be the tourism market in China. But before proceeding with today's topic, let me briefly introduce you to the EU SME Center. The EU SME Center is a project funded by the European Commission and is implemented by 6 partners. You can see them on the screen. They are the CBBC, the Bencham, the Italian Chamber, the French Chamber, Eurochambre and the EU CCC. The main purpose of the EU SME Center is to provide hands-on support services to European small and medium-sized enterprises, getting them ready to do business in China. And these services, they can vary from giving trainings, workshops and seminars to SMEs in both China and Europe, to providing tailor-made advice to businesses that want to enter the Chinese market. Our team of in-house experts give advice and support in 4 areas: business development, law, standards and conformity, and HR. We would be more than happy to support you too when you have any questions about doing business in China. Another service of the EU SME Center is providing knowledge or providing information about the Chinese market. And we do that through publishing market reports, guidelines, case studies, and webinars. Last year, the center published a report on China's tourism market, and I strongly recommend you to read this report before or after listening to this webinar. You can download this report on our website. Through this webinar, we hope to further inform you about China's tourism market. And among others, in this webinar, we will discuss the current market trends in the tourism market in China. We will also draw a profile of the Chinese tourist, and we will identify market potential. Now let me introduce you to our speaker, Simone Sturla. Mr. Sturla is the General Manager for the Chinese outbound tour operator A-Trails. He is also the coordinator of the Italy-China Travel Club for the Italian Chamber of Commerce in China. Mr. Sturla, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. This is our today agenda. We have first a quick overview of dimension and distribution of this booming market, followed by in-depth look about the potential customer and its consumption habits. We will then see the opportunistic or strategic use of a Chinese APP, and then we'll provide some analysis of market potential and case studies to close with the last update concerning the current situation. The booming market is our chapter 1, definitely. And to have a look about the market in detail, we'll go through its dimension, growth and distribution, projection, clusters and destinations. Please remember you may download our Outbound Tourism Market in China report, clicking on the link provided. About the market dimension, I will go quickly about this, as I believe anybody has quite a clear idea of what we're talking about. We started in 2000, actually it was 97, but 2000 with 10 million outbound Chinese travelers to reach last year in 2019 166 million. The important point here is that less than 11% of the population has a passport, so the potential growth is extremely impressive. International expenditure related to tourism, it's impressive as well. In 2016 we had 261 US billion, so it's a very, very interesting market. The growth of outbound travel agencies, tour operators, in 2017 we got over 4,200 tour operators in China, starting from 500 in 2002. An interesting point to follow is the generating regions. The number you see are expressed in thousands. Of course, first highest generation area it's basically the coast, so the most developed cities, and it takes the lion's share, 63%. Then we have central regions, which stands on 34, and still we have very interesting number. To get to the western area of China, where we see a very little 0.03%. Still analyzing the number, which are in thousands, we see an interesting niche that could be valuable to consider it. Some projection, this comes from the intelligence unit of The Economist for 2030. Middle class from today 10% should reach 35% of population, so we're talking about 400 million people. High middle class from today 7 to almost 20% to 176 million. High spender from today 2.6 to possibly 14.5% to 100 million people. From a European point of view, important to say that 70% of these people travel short haul. And Hong Kong and Macau are considered outbound. So when talking about Chinese number, it's important to bear in mind that what may pertain European countries is 30% of it. It's still a very, very good number, but it's not the whole. Where tourists go and opportunities lie. Here we reported top 20 city based on 2017 and 2018 arrivals and projection. And then we have, following what we just said, Hong Kong, Bangkok, London, Singapore, Macau. So top 5 we stay short haul with London exception. Why we provide this number? It's every time we analyze numbers in tourism, it's important to understand that it's not only leisure. There may be other trends involved. For example, in England, there is the trend of studying in the UK, which is ground for opportunities for third party. We will see an example later on, but to study this kind of opportunity, it's fundamental to see openings that we may take advantage of. About market or cluster, addressing the Chinese, this is a very, very, very fundamental point. Addressing the Chinese market as a whole is wrong. Addressing the Chinese market by cluster is the correct approach. Cluster represent real markets within markets with their own specification. Why? Because there are different targets. It can be family, millennials, FIT, mass market, to which we feed different products and that are marketed by different players, travel concierge, wholesaler, OTA, tour operators. So before approaching the Chinese market opportunity, we have to have these points very, very clear in mind in order to approach it correctly. About tourists, this is our chapter 2. Please remember you may download our marketing essential reports from our website. And we will tackle first the millennial phenomenon, because it's pretty popular topic. So millennial population totals nearly 400 million, about a quarter of the nation population. And millennial account for nearly 3/4 of China outbound visit. Again, here you should remember that 70% stay short haul. Travel companion, almost half of them travel in couple, then 30% with friends, nothing strange here, no surprise. 30% though travel with parents. What does it mean? This is a cornerstone in Chinese society. You have to consider that most of kids are single kids. So when the economic independence is reached, to travel with the parents, to give back / show off, it's a kind of habit. And this can be an interesting cluster. Another cluster which is picking up pretty well, it's the solo traveling. Again, it's quite pretty common, but it's new in China. And a mere 3% about new companions sharing the same idea or interest. Again, this may well be interesting to look further into it. It's new and it's picking up well. Millennials are young. By definition, they want to have fun, they want to be free, they want to enjoy. So here what we see, it's basically what applies also for European millennials. In-depth travel, self-driving, it's a cluster that's picking up pretty well. Outdoor experiences, trekking, cycling, extreme sport, all these starts to perform pretty well. Mobile first, here the point is Chinese people experience a continuous connectivity in their daily life. It can be for shopping, can be for researching, drawing information, working. Wi-Fi connection is free almost anywhere, even at food stall on the street. Purchasing is instant. China has basically a cashless society, and they are extremely app dependent. There is an app for anything. This is important when you try to convey information before or during the travel. We are still pretty much used to use paper pamphlet or paper maps. They don't look at maps. They don't know how to read it. They just have an app from point A to point B. So this is something that we should consider. And something extremely important, something that makes 70% of the interest to come in to visit your destination, is that every moment should be shared. If you cannot share an experience, it doesn't exist. Then the value is nothing. This is something that you should bear in mind when designing your product as well. As a habit, we see Chinese tourists to spend at least 12 days researching. They visit multiple online sites for price comparison. Booking process, it's almost all by mobile. So the point here is let Chinese tourists know about your brand before they start the booking process. Otherwise, they will never find you. Blogging, platform, this kind of exposition will introduce you to the digital world, and this may help you in having tourism provider to offer your product to the customer, or if you resonate as destination system, to create a new destination idea. This is just a first step. You should have a consistent content strategy, and you may consider to have a key opinion leader help you out. Reason why they are able to create content suitable, appropriated to the audience you want to connect with. Every KOL has its own audience, and this is something that you should consider carefully. In alternative, you may start to work on an emotional level to bond your destination with your audience, or you may create something totally out of the box in order to draw attention. This is our chapter 3. It's about the app. It's what we call an incredible tool. And video and live streaming platforms are increasingly popular. 42% of Chinese FIT of the post-19 generation get inspiration to travel from video content. Here we name most popular ones. In like Tencent Video or Youku, they provide long-form professional-made videos. Miaopai, Toutiao, Douyin are platform for short, semi-professional, self-made videos. Ijubo, it's short video, live streaming. This is important because you should create content and should vehiculate them through the right platform. Of course, other relevant app are WeChat, Weibo, which are pillars in the Chinese system. WeChat is the main one, and the reason why is that you can pay your phone bills, house maintenance. It's a booking engine. It's a money swap. It processes payments. It's social connection. It's Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or mix up together, and it's very valuable tool for working. Mails are less used in China, while even intercompany group chat or company chat, or this is the basis of daily working operation in China. And here we see this a number about that. That's like over 1 million mini programs, 40 million corporate account, over 1.1 billion user, and WeChat it's constantly used. Here we see 90% of user access it every day. It's like 100% of user access every day, and much more than 10 times a day. It's constantly open, especially if you're working. Let's have a look about what happened when hotels are searched for families. So we have how do you typically get information about destination and travel products for travel with a child? In 62% we got WeChat or Fliggy, which is a travel app, Feiju. Through post of friends on WeChat or Weibo, it's like 50%, or searching up business account, mini program on WeChat or Weibo, it's like 46%. And here we already have our first answers. Again, when choosing an hotel for family travel, how important is it that the property has a WeChat mini program? Very important, I would say. WeChat customer service, very important. Again, a WeChat loyalty program, very important indeed. Chinese guests are used to be pampered, are used to service in general. If they have an issue with their hotel, they don't pick up the phone in the hotel room and call. They just drop a voice message in the WeChat hotel app, and they expect to be answered immediately. They are not easy customers. They are used to a different frame of service. Let's see some example how to take advantage of it. Actually, the Hilton Group has created few WeChat mini programs to increase the connectivity and remote technological experience of their guests, such as booking, hotel information, local travel info. But its piece of art of innovation is represented by what is called now the digital key, through which members can book their room, choosing among floor plans, and then they check in directly from their smartphone. This is becoming a trend and soon will be a standard. This is a very intelligent way they took advantage about the Chinese connectivity habit, or let's say addiction in some cases. Another example, it's more opportunistic, but it's even more clever. We anticipated few slides ago, UK education is booming for Chinese students. Overseas schooling is trending among affluent families. Again, you should remember almost every Chinese is an only child. So British Airways promote this Flying Nest initiative, which is commercialized by a very emotional video. And the story is about a family surprise visit, of course, thanks to PA, to the only child studying in UK, and it's followed by sightseeing of the capital, thanks to WeChat program, which are offering travel information, translation, immigration tips, and so on. So the service does nothing basically to share with the airline company itself, if not that it conveys the message very emotionally that they care, and they offer further and free service to their customer. They meet their demands, their needs well ahead. This is very clever. It's very clever leverage about an emotional need typical of the today Chinese society. Here we see another example, which is the content maker, or we call the content maker. It's Xiaohongshu Red. It's a user-generated content about fashion, travel, lifestyle, beauty. It's about real experience created by user. And of course, some users become very quickly influencer, and they give informative guidance about where to go, what to buy, eventually how to use it. It has currently 200 million users, and 90% are female born after their 80s. So basically, here we have an accessible influencing box, a chance to promote a brand if you want to offer gift prices, free nights, or any idea that would come to your mind. A promotion which is definitely alternative to mainstream, and you can count on in-depth feedback of your products by the user themselves. Another app, it's more videos, it's called Douyin. It's a short video app who allow the user to create contents and customize them. And it has a very underground contemporary vibe. 1 billion videos currently, and 80% of users are under 30 years old. So this is potentially it's a viral opportunity app, but it's not for everybody, because you really should be into the thing or should be supported to use it properly. Another way is instead to create an intelligent frame related to your destination or the message you want to convey, or through which the younger generation may have fun and then share the content. This is our chapter 4, market potential and case studies. About the market physiology. The tourism market is based on demand. So it's improbable, very improbable to tackle it intervening on the players. It's an uneconomic choice in terms of training and promotional effort for them. And travelers travel anyway. So to tour operator do not really matter where they travel to. In a nutshell, it's unrealistic to demand promotion to the market player. And this is what's happening always. You go to a fair and you want to meet tour operators, you want to propose your destination, but they will not take the effort, the time, they will not spend the money to train their staff or to promote it if the destination is unknown to the public. So the answer is promotion should be addressed to the base. Could be general, could be specific to a cluster, a niche. What you should do is create space in the traveler's mind about your destination. Due to the market size, this it's quite an effort So this is the reason why it's very advisable to work as a system, work together, not going solo. Most of the cases this will result in not in a success, generally speaking. An idea, a story is necessary to convey the message. Beautiful, it's no longer an option. It's full of beautiful places everywhere. Your destination, your message has to convey a lifestyle, a dimension of being. The traveler must feel connected with it or should be defined by it. As a case study, I took Italy, a reason why it's one of the most visited European country, and it has one of the biggest unused potential. It makes most of its incoming based on 4 destinations only, which is Milan, Florence, Venice, Rome, full stop. While it has 55 UNESCO World Heritage. This is the highest number together with China. So the potential here is to create synergies using well-known destination as highlight, but then locate the experiences in the surrounding areas. This distribute benefit of tourism, distribute the congestion of tourism. It's good for pricing, and the key point is to promote this as a whole, not as an alternative, as I saw happening before. The alternative doesn't work because we're addressing people that will visit Europe maybe once in their life, or they will visit different countries in Europe once in their life, and you cannot take out the highlights. Also because this is the hub where the flights arrive, so it would be quite complicated. Again, here I go a little bit in depth, constructing about distances and traveling time in daily life. I took as example the Trentino region for the only reason why he has roughly the same dimension as Beijing municipality. Population is dramatically different, as you will see. 14 cities in China have more than 10 million inhabitants. 164 cities have more than 1 million inhabitants. Metropolitan residents experience daily 2 to 3 hours of commuting time. And if you take a flight in China, 4 hours later, you're still in China. So this is an advantage that we should market, that we can turn into an advantage. Why? Because in a short radius, you have a full range of experience readily available. You can have outdoor experience, you have art, culture, you have food, and this applies for every European region. In an area that covers a city area, where you can spend a week doing every day everything, something different. And this is a potential that today it's not used. Nobody is marketing this point. And Chinese people will have a ear to that. Let's take another approach, again working on habits. This is a very old itinerary that was on the market in 2014. It's still on the market, but this is basically a piece of art. There is the myth, I'm sure all of you are aware of, about the fact that Chinese people don't like beaches, don't like to get tan, And strangely enough, they represent 37% of the Maldives market. The second cluster are the British with 14. So the package, if we open it, it's 3 nights in Hong Kong with no service, left out the hotel and airport transfer. 3 days where they can have free shopping activity. Then we have 2 nights on Maldives, and then we have 1 night flying back. The message, the highlight for traveling to Maldives was those will be no more due to climatic change. And so this product combines a few very important points. First of all, it's very affordable because it's bare bone service. It has shareable moments. I'm in Maldives and there will be no more. And it has shopping opportunity, which is one of the highlights for, let's say, one of the habits of Chinese customer. It was very well designed. It created a destination against all odds, let's say, and it was extremely successful. For our conclusion, summing up, we can say make the Chinese tourist aware of your brand or your destination before booking. Be visible and develop a strategy through the right media channels. It's unrealistic, I will say again, to demand promotion to market player. This is an attitude that has to change because it's not productive. You should create opportunities for the market player, which are not well prepared, outbound speaking. And you should create, and there are daily, China market is very challenging and they are thinking every way to overcome their competitor. So you can create an opportunity for them economically or logistically or in terms of service standard, in terms of originality. You should study this player and understand how you could help them. The market, it's very big, it's very difficult to address the base, it's very expensive to address the base. This is the reason why to work as a system has its advantage. And an idea, a story is necessary. Think about, you have to meet a lifestyle, you have to add meaning to a dimension of being, you have to add determine characteristic to help the tourist to connect with you. You may have an approach opportunistic, emotional, focus on business partner needs. Think about something. You should have extra this kind of attitude in your approach. Study your market, study your cluster, their habit, where did they go, what do they expect, what they are missing. And don't be afraid of error. Be innovative, because anything else has already been done here in China. I will close with the update about the current situation, which is definitely dampening the tourism hospitality sector. On 24th of January, the National Tourism Administration sent out a notification that all outbound packages had to be cancelled within the next 3 days. And 3 days after, the ban on outbound travel was effective. Compliance was very strong across all the industry. In the short term, well, let's say that currently everything stopped. In the next 3-6 months, probably we see a liquidity shortage, and most probably smaller entities will likely bankrupt. To check some key facts, the travel bans imposed by over 50 countries create a fall in occupancy of 75% over 2 weeks in mainland China. And the top outbound destination for Chinese tourists have seen 30 to 75 drop in arrivals. Maldives 30%, Singapore 30%. Corporation adjusted downward their expectation for the year. The Hilton Group expect a hit of $50 million, and 150 Hilton hotel, approximately we're talking about 33,000 rooms are closed in China as a result of the outbreak. If the impact would be similar to what happened in 2003 with SARS, we will see a recovery once disease is perceived to be under control. What happened in 2003 is that at the end of the year, the annual margin was affected marginally because subsequently there were many bookings. In this case, consumer confidence would likely take longer to return, and best case scenario, the recovery could be by end of summer. We'll come back strong, but about the timing we are unsure. On the other side, inbound side, foreigner traveling to China, well, possibly this could take up the whole year. So the situation is it's quite bleak, I would say, but it's definitely not the end of it. On the sunny side, maybe we may have time to work in time for strategy for next year. Here I leave the Italian Chamber of Commerce contacts. The offices are located in Beijing, Chongqing, Guangzhou, Shanghai, and Suzhou. And again, here it's the use me center QR codes, which can be your reference for China. Thanks again for your attention, and wish you all a good day.